San Mateo became the first county in the Bay Area to go digital with its communications system. The cost, tens of millions of dollars. The idea was to help first responders communicate better during emergencies. But officers of one police department tell ABC 7 News the radio system is so flawed it jeopardized their safety. Here's our Vic Lee with a story you'll see only on 7.
101 California, San Francisco, July 1st, 1993. 8 people were killed, 6 wounded when a gunman shot office workers as he moved from floor to floor. Officers had trouble talking to each other on their radios inside the high-rise building.
Most of the calls for service that officers do respond to wind up somehow being inside homes or offices or shopping malls, and you need that lifeline.
The importance of that lifeline was very much on the minds of San Mateo County officials 5 years ago when they converted their old analog communications network to a state-of-the-art digital radio system. Total cost, $20 million.
Okay, I'm just going to ask a few questions while help us.
The County Communications Center handles all emergency calls. It's also the radio system for sheriff's deputies. In fact, all 23 police departments on the peninsula were asked to convert their analog radios and join the new digital system.
If they do call in...
Hillsborough Police Chief Matt O'Connor heads the Police Chiefs Association's Technology Committee.
They look like they're a good system on paper, but when you actually deploy them in the field, they fall grossly short. So with that, there wasn't really a lot of interest to band with the Sheriff's Department.
In fact, all but one of the police departments refused to go digital. Only Redwood City was interested. Carlos Bolanos was police chief at the time. He says his department's radio equipment was getting old.
It was also an opportunity to hook up with the sheriff's office and get what we consider to be the newest state-of-the-art technology in radio communications.
So in 2004, Redwood City joined the county's new digital communications system. But after nearly 4 years, Redwood City Police told the county last August it was bailing out and returning to its old analog radio system. The police department declined our request for an interview, but officers we spoke with privately say they had serious concerns about the reliability of the system. So serious, in fact, that they believed their safety was being jeopardized. Police sources tell us it's an embarrassing and politically sensitive issue. Former Police Chief Bolanos, who pushed for the conversion, is now undersheriff of San Mateo County. He's still a supporter of the new radio system. Redwood City also spent a tidy sum, nearly $1 million to go digital. City Manager Peter Ingram refused our request for an interview, saying it's not in our interest. But at our request, Ingram did send us a fax explaining why the city bailed out. He says issues include an unacceptable level of audio distortion, the inability for officers to interrupt ongoing radio traffic with more urgent radio traffic, and a lag time from depressing the mic button to when a user can begin transmitting. These were the same kinds of problems voiced by officers who spoke with us off the record. Among other shortfalls, spotty signal coverage. Chief O'Connor has heard the same complaints, including that same problem police had at 101 California.
There's problems when officers go into buildings or into office settings. The reception of the transmission is not as good as analog.
They would get a tone like that when they tried to use their radios.
George Hughes is a communications consultant for several companies in the Bay Area.
They're still having major coverage areas, gaps in the coastal area of the county, in the valleys and stuff like that. They're better off using a cell phone or a Nextel at that point, which is what I understand a lot of the officers have reverted to.
There's always going to be some coverage holes.
Chris Flatmo heads San Mateo County's IT department.
But it's very, very rare. By and large, those spots are very small and they're very well known.
Flatmo admits the new system had problems at the outset. Not enough repeater sites for hard-to-reach areas of the county, and a defective software upgrade 2 years ago. But Flatmo says those problems have now been fixed.
Subsequent to stabilizing the system and making a few changes to the system, I stopped hearing about such problems, and I have not heard about any problems in the past 2 years.
As for Redwood City Police, Flatmo believes they had a harder time adjusting to a new system which had flaws at the beginning.
we got past those issues, but it could be the case that some of the folks in the Redwood City Police Department couldn't get past those early competence concerns.
As for Under Sheriff Bolanos,
do you feel confident about this digital system?
Absolutely.
now the Sheriff's Office is the only law enforcement agency on the county's digital system, so we wanted to find out how deputies felt about the system when they're out on the streets. But the San Mateo County Deputy Sheriff's Association did not return our numerous calls. Vic Lee, ABC 7 News.
Interesting. All right, Vic, thank you.
Well, UC Berkeley, they're getting a history lesson with the help of a little fashion.
Yeah, coming up, the exhibit